Good morning and happy Friday. Thanks for joining in. It is not Makan Sutra Friday, but it's still got a lot to do with Makan because we have chef and owner of Burnt Ends in the studio, Dave Pynt. Good morning, Dave.
Morning, Dave. Good morning, guys. How are you?
We need you to come closer to the microphone. So there you go. Your legions of fans are watching you on Facebook and YouTube. You can say hello to everybody that's watching. I bet your staff are watching, aren't they?
I think some of them might be online now.
Some of them might be awake. Okay, chef, you have really spoiled us this morning because you have brought in a plethora of desserts from Burnt Ends Bakery. So I'm going to grab the box that's closest to me. Oh, it's a heavy one. And then I'm going to open it up to the camera and you can tell us what we're looking at.
Okay, so what are we looking at here?
So we've got the Burnt Ends donuts. So some of the famous ones, we've got the jam donuts, the Iranian pistachios, Milo dinosaur, Nutella, vanilla, and smoked yuzu curd.
Oh.
That's all mine.
No.
I'll tell you why in a while. Hold on. Okay, let's look at this one.
This is crazy, man.
So we got these special Madeleine tarts with
so good.
chocolate on top. So chocolate and hazelnut mousse.
Okay.
I cannot begin to tell you how many boxes we actually have in this studio. We need an aerial camera at this point.
We do, actually.
I actually think the team was super excited. So, and then we've got Canellis, which are one of my favorites as well.
Oh my god.
So good, so good.
Okay.
Oh.
This is beautiful.
Hello, Mummy.
Chocolat and raspberry tarts.
Oh,
Look at Cheyenne's face.
Cheyenne's like, give me, please. Give me, please.
Okay. Then we have...
Okay, this one's mine, okay? This one's
This one
mine.
you can have.
Ham and cheese croissants.
Oh.
Ooh.
Good start for every morning.
Oh, yes. You don't
And
say.
then-
And then we've got the berry. Finally, we've got the berry tart. So this is something that we've been doing since very early on. One of our biggest sellers and done by my wife, Katrina. Not anymore,
really?
but she sort of like was making it at
Oh,
the
wow.
very, very start.
So is that
Wow.
like kind of like her recipe?
She made it. She
Wow,
was like, it was
okay,
her. She refined
amazing.
it, and then it's been like that ever since.
We also have cold brew,
Cold brew coffee.
Slayer brew it's called.
Yeah.
Brazil, Colombia, Peru. So this is cold brew coffee that's brewed in-house.
Brewed in-house, but we actually also roast the beans now.
Nice.
wow.
Okay.
Basically, you do everything.
Well,
then.
we've got an amazing team where, we let them run.
Yeah.
And, if they like running, let
them free.
go.
Let them free.
Let them go. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, we've already got comments on our Facebook page going, Sugar Rush!
Oh my gosh, incredible. Thanks so much for bringing all this in. Now we have about a minute before we go on air. Give us a few details like where one can find Burnt Ends Bakery and what time you guys open and,
Yeah.
So Burnt Ends Bakery is up at Dempsey, so block 7 in Dempsey, and it's only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 8 a.m. till about 4 p.m.
So today's a good day then.
Today's a good day. Today's
Okay.
a good day. Weekends are typically very busy, and then we slowly ease into it on a Thursday.
Right.
Okay. All right. So today is a good day for you to go and grab any one of these. These are on sale every day. It's the same sort of...
No.
Okay.
No, we have a few set things, like a lot of the donuts will always be there. Canellis maybe sometimes if the guys are in the mood. So they're given a little bit of flexibility with what, they can display and show and what they want to put out.
Oh, that's
nice.
nice. That's
Okay.
nice. So you walk in never knowing what you're going to get.
You have a good idea, but never knowing
know
exactly what's
what
going to
you're
be
gonna
there.
get.
Okay, hang on. Let's go on air.
Formulated with advanced additives and friction reduction technology, SBC Level effectively cleans your engine, restores power and performance for a smoother, more responsive drive, all with greater fuel savings.
Kiss 92.
I listen all day. My favorite station. We love it.
Kiss 92.
Turn it up.
Wake up in the morning. It's the way Singapore wakes up. Wake up, Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman. Wake up in the morning feeling like Kiss 92's Big Show.
Good morning and happy Friday. It is Angel, Juliana, and the Flying Dutchman in the studio on the Big Show right now. We also have Burnt Ends chef owner Dave Pynt. That's quite a mouthful. Can I just call you Dave?
Certainly can.
Okay, good.
Okay, if you're not aware, Burnt Ends is, of course, a One-Michelin starred modern barbecue restaurant at Dempsey, number 7 Dempsey. But along with Burnt Ends, the restaurant, there's also Burnt Ends, the bakery, as well as Burnt Ends Bar. Currently, the restaurant is ranked number 15 in Asia's 50 best restaurants and number 68 in the world.
Congratulations.
Wow.
How amazing does that feel? Tell us a little bit about Burnt Ends. Like, how did you start? Why did you start? What is your philosophy?
So this could be a bit of a long story, but I'll keep it
Short, yeah.
Keep it super short. We actually, I ended up staging at a place in Spain called Asador Echevarri, which is like the wood-fired mecca in the world, right?
Yeah.
Got an opportunity to do a pop-up in East London, so we built a big, like a 4-ton dual-cavity wood-burning oven in London, did a pop-up there over summer, went travelling, got a phone call from Lo Lik Peng, come and open in Singapore. 3 months later, we were opening on Tek Lim Road in Chinatown.
That was quick.
That was fast.
That was quick.
Yeah.
So fun. That whole idea, when you kicked off, it kicked off massively. You were such a success from day one.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty busy. We always felt it was busy because we started as a very small team. There was 4 of us in the kitchen at the very start, and now we've like 13 in the service kitchen. It's always sort of felt busy, even though it might have not been as busy as we thought.
And now from Tek Lim, you've moved to number 7 Dempsey, doing so much more. Let's go on the Big Show TV to talk a little bit more about that move. Why expand, especially when F&B is so dismal at the moment in Singapore? So let's continue that conversation. If you want to hear about Chef Dave's journey, you can join us on the Big Show TV. Okay, all right. Let's keep the language.
My apologies.
It's okay. It's all right. Okay, so you started out with Burnt Ends, a grill restaurant. Tell us a little bit more about the grill, because I've stayed away from Burnt Ends. I told you I've never been. Purely because, firstly, its name. Secondly, its reputation of being a meat grill restaurant. As a vegetarian, I'm like, okay, that's not I'm not your demographic.
You kind of are.
Okay, tell us more.
So I'll give you a little bit of background. We've got these massive 4-ton dual cavity wood burning ovens, so we only burn over wood. There's no charcoal, there's no gas, there's no electricity. And then we've got these beautiful elevation grills, which means we can control the temperature of the barbecue that we cook on from start to finish.
Yeah.
But we are quite meat heavy, but we've got a lot of seafood and a lot of vegetables. And I think what we find with a lot of our guests, even the meat eaters, is they're so surprised by the vegetable options that it's one of the things that stands out for them in the whole meal.
Give us a few examples of what you have, because I was trying to look for a menu, and you said you don't put your menus up online, or
we just never have.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
So we just never have, and it's kind of like they change daily. So
what I saw is not your menu.
I don't know what you
saw.
Exactly. It definitely wasn't.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you have in terms of vegetarian options?
So vegetarian options, of course, start with the quail eggs. So we can do it obviously without caviar, and it's been on since literally day one in Singapore. We've got the eggplant and miso, where we get an eggplant, we throw it in the oven, we burn it, we peel off the outside, tempura batter, and then a caramelized white miso aioli.
Ooh.
So a little bit of salt and pepper spice mix and some fried red chilies.
And that's a permanent on the menu.
It is now. It's one of the favorites for a lot of people. It's something that we love eating. Surprises a lot of people, so it's not going anywhere.
All right.
Then we've got a leek hazelnut and brown butter, which has been on since London.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it was one of the first things we grabbed. We threw it in the oven. We burnt the hell out of it. And, we take it out, we strip out the outside, and you're left with this beautiful, buttery heart.
Sweet.
Yeah, very sweet heart. And then brown butter, capers, toasted hazelnuts, a little bit of parsley, a little bit of lemon juice, and away you go.
Oh, nice.
So it's actually there. And this is something that's just delicious. Like when we have barbecues at home, we literally do a version of this.
Yeah, because you hear leek and you're like, oh, celery. That kind of root vegetable. No, you stay away from that. Tell us a little bit more about the expansion of Burnt Ends. Like, why did you decide to just go from that and then expand it to the bar and the bakery?
So I think when we were in Tek Lim, we had this tiny little shop house. It was about 1,400 square foot. We had outside, we had a third floor which is where the bakery started. And we'd started baking for a lot of people, and then COVID hit, and we were like, what do we do?
Yeah.
And so the bakery was something that, people need for home. They weren't going out to eat so much, so bakery became a lot more prominent. So we sort of fired that off, and it just took off. So the donuts were one of the key things, and it just blew up. And so we ended up through COVID just being like super cramped in this tiny little restaurant with this tiny little cool room, and everything felt stressed. Plus, we're doing all these takeaways, so we had packaging boxes everywhere. And like everything in Singapore, the rent went absolutely crazy.
Of course,
And so we told our landlord, who was actually fantastic, unfortunately, we're not going to pay any more for this space. And so she ended up selling the building, and then the guy sold it again in 7 months for a massive profit.
Right.
And so the rent went from like 14,000 to 30,000.
Wow. Okay.
And so we were just like, out
we
the
have to get
door.
out. Yeah.
And Peng and my partners were like, you've got to go to Dempsey, and they'd been saying it for years.
Yeah.
And we were a bit hamstrung, and so we moved up to Dempsey, and we had all this space, and we're like, oh,
What do we do with it?
yeah, because we didn't want a huge restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what we wanted to do. So we broke it all up and tacked a little bakery on the side. We've got a beautiful little private room and a bar,
Nice.
and a big outdoor area for
For
parties.
events.
Yeah, which is a nice idea, and you did all that during COVID, which to me is just amazing.
Or
How-
stupid.
No, it took a lot of courage
Yeah, that's for sure.
because nobody knew where things were going to go after COVID. How did you come out of COVID? New venue,
New concept.
new concepts.
I think when we came out of COVID, everything was quite strong because Singapore sort of gradually opened the doors to let people out, but people were allowed in. So it went really well, and it's only sort of like maybe the last year in Singapore that wages have stopped, the cost of living has gone through the roof, and there's definitely not as much money flowing around Singapore.
Yeah.
And so now it's sort of starting to get a little bit tougher, and so you've got to be really a little bit more price conscious, and you've got to sort of make sure that you're controlling things super tightly at the moment. So, but coming out of COVID, actually, there was so much money. Everyone was having a good time. Everyone was going out, eating, spending. You see the number of Japanese restaurants that opened up.
Yeah.
It was incredible,
Pizza
right?
restaurants we were just talking
Yeah, we
about.
were
There's
just-
so many pizza joints
So
now.
many, right?
Yeah. Choices are crazy.
Yeah.
You're actually here to talk about your book, which we'll leave for on air.
Yeah.
You have any questions? I had something in my head.
To be honest, I think the bakery was a fantastic idea. I saw so much of it, the stuffed donuts on social media. I'm so excited to try them today.
You can try them now if you want.
very,
very glamorous. Yeah.
And I just thought it was amazing that you managed to open that space as well. I wanted to ask about how tough it is to get a reservation, because I was just sitting in a cafe that day and I overheard the next table talking about getting a reservation at Burnt Ends.
The reservations aren't my expertise. I try and stay as far
away from that
them
as you can,
possible.
yeah.
But I do know that we open the books up about 45 days in advance.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
generally it sells out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But now that we know you,
yeah.
there are,
you
there
do
are
go-
ways to
We can't
slip-
play favourites. We don't even play favourites for our owners.
Oh, do you?
That
Okay.
was a hard lesson we learned very early.
Yeah.
Because you can't. Because
It's
you've
business.
It's
Yeah.
business. You've kept your size manageable. You don't have a massive restaurant. So, and I'm a firm believer in if you've got a queue, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
for
It's a
It's
good
a
problem
good
to have.
thing.
You should have heard that conversation that was going on in the next table. I know somebody in Burnt
Yeah, there you
Ends.
go.
They can get me a table.
Yeah. For example, we've got people on Facebook, and the comments are quite amazing. Okay. The question is, how do I get a table? Because they've been trying to get a table for 3 years.
So is there? We should talk about whether there are any tips or tricks to get in there.
Tell us.
No, not favoritism.
Not
not favoritism.
But like you said, books open up 45 days ahead. That's the
10
big
a.m.
thing.
It is.
That's the
plan,
big
plan
thing.
early.
Plan
10
ahead.
a.m.
10
Okay.
a.m.
All right,
Yeah.
hold on. Let's go to traffic and then we can talk about that.
Yeah.
And the book.
I love the way you lie. Kiss Kiss 92 traffic.
On the TPE towards the SLE, a vehicle's having a little trouble after Pongal Road's exit. Look out for that. Also on the PIE towards Tuas at Jurong Town Hall exit, there is a vehicle broken down. If you have any other news for us, it's 88550920. We are on The Big Show and The Big Show TV with Dave Pynt. You would find his name very, very familiar because he is the chef and owner of Burnt Ends, which is currently at number 7 Dempsey Road. And they not only have the restaurant, they have the bakery, they've got the bar, and they've got a space for events as well. And we were talking about reservations.
We were talking about reservations. Now, this is the power, I feel, of Burnt Ends. It really is the power that someone tries for 3 years and is still trying. That is the power behind the brand.
Because you hear so much about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? And we were saying 10 a.m., 45 days ahead.
Correct.
That's the clue you got, okay, people?
So don't think you're going to get a reservation for this weekend.
No.
Or even next week. You know, that's quite a high expectation.
That's a very... Well, to be honest, every now and then someone might cancel last minute, so those last minute reservations pop up. And we had someone in last night that the reservation popped up 2 days before, and he goes, I didn't even tell my wife.
Oh,
and
nice.
I'm like,
wow.
So who's
Lucky
sitting
him.
next to you? He's like, it was his wife.
Okay, thank goodness. But you know, speaking of books opening up, we have you on the show because we'd like to talk about Burnt Ends, the book. Pre-orders for it began just 4 days ago, and shipping starts on the 1st of November. Now, this book is priced at $95 plus, but you have also an exclusive special edition, which is limited to just 300 copies. It weighs 6.6 kilos.
Yes.
And has got quite a bit of work put into it. Tell us about the book on its own, Burnt Ends.
At 6.6 kilos, does it come with meat?
we would hope so, but it is smoked.
It is smoked.
It is
Okay.
smoked.
Tell us about Burnt Ends, the book, and why you decided to release this.
So I think the book sort of kicked off. It's always been in the background. You know, everyone's writing books long time. And we were meant to open in Harrods this year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, the biggest, most prominent department store in the world, right?
Yeah.
And so we were like, look, if we don't do a book now, we're literally never going to do a book. This is, you know, we're 10 years old. We've got a fair bit to talk about. We've got a lot of history. We've got a lot of recipes, different techniques. If we don't do it now, we're never, ever going to do it. There's no other reason to do it.
Yeah.
So we're just like, let's do it.
Okay.
So that sort of kicked it off. And then we've always been talking with these full agency guys from Sweden that we've known for a long time, heavily invested in the food industry. And so I called them up again. I'm like, hey, I'm actually thinking of doing a book now. What do you reckon? And they're like, we would love to. And so we called them up. We got a writer who's a journalist from Perth, a guy called Max, friend of mine. And we sort of went, all the pieces fell into play, and we were just like, this sounds and feels right. Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
It's been described as a journey through fire and flavor. So what can I expect when I open up that book?
So in the book, we got 368 pages. We've got 70 recipes that are sort of current recipes from Burnt Ends, including beef marmalade and the grissini.
And those vegetarian recipes as well, I hope.
Of course, the vegetarian recipes.
Yeah.
Of course, we have them. And the donuts that you're eating
Oh,
today.
wow.
And the berry tart.
Nice.
So we're literally a snapshot into the world of Burnt Ends at the moment. We've got 16 different techniques. So, you know, when we cook on fire, everyone thinks you just grill or you smoke or you do this. Like, very simple. But when we broke it down, actually there's so many different, like, slightly different techniques that we use to barbecue.
It's almost scientific, is it?
Yeah, in a loose kind of way. And so trying to articulate that with the team has been really challenging, but actually really rewarding to be able to write down what it means to cook like this on barbecue. So we capture all that. There's 379 different images. We've got illustrations from an amazing tattoo artist in the Ukraine, and Ryan Inzana, a super famous like comic illustrator, has basically summarized our journey from basically me as a child going through doing a pop-up in London, starting around the world, opening Tech Lim, backpacking through South America, and then moving up to Dempsey. So he's summarized that in like a 4 or 5 page comic illustration. So it's a bit of fun of the history as opposed to, you know, like a story, a memoir.
Yeah,
type
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
a few liberties, a little bit more excitement, and some beautiful illustrations.
I love it.
So explain the we'll get you to explain the 6.6 kilo book
Yes.
when we come back.
Join us on The Big Show TV on Facebook and YouTube at Kiss92. The time right now is 8:20.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by Poutine.
Okay, 6.6 kilos, and you said the book is smoked? You got to explain
Yeah,
this.
we got to know more about this book. It's like 3 of my laptops, basically.
It's heavy.
Super heavy.
Yeah.
Like the book on its own is 2.2 kilos.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's a big, heavy book. The paper stock's amazing, so it does weigh a lot on its own. But then we're like, what are we going to do for, the special people that have been involved in the process and our journey and our mentors and everything? And so we're like, well, we've got to give it a really nice case and cover. And so we got Emma Maxwell, who designed the whole of Burn Ends, to come up with a cover. And she's basically got this like hand-forged metal cover. And we've got these skulls, which you can see on the bottle.
On the bottle, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got them as sort of like little brass like pins.
Yeah.
And they're all like sort of molded and they're put onto the box. So you've got like 12 of them all over the box, like stuck out. So
Yeah.
Like embossed almost.
No,
They're
no,
sticking out. They're stuck. Oh, they're
So
separate, right?
They mold them and then they
stick them on,
attach
right?
them.
Wow.
Right.
And then we're personally gonna autograph and like write you a little message in the book, and then we're gonna smoke it. So when you pick up the book, no matter where you are in the world, the first thing that will come to mind
Is that aroma.
is Burn Ends.
Wow.
It's
Because it'll
It's the
literally
aroma.
like fill you. So that's something that
It's
and
a
we
whole-
tried it. We were like, I don't know if it's gonna work.
I have
So we
never
smoked
heard
one.
Yeah, I've never heard of a book being smoked.
No.
I mean, it takes scratch and sniff to a whole new
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, for sure.
So we were talking about perfumes at one stage, like getting a
Smoky.
smoke
Yeah.
perfume from this guy in New York.
Yeah.
And, scratch and sniff.
Sniff,
And stuff
I
like
love
It's
that.
Like, why don't we just smoke it?
That's a great idea.
Fabulous idea.
That is a super idea.
So we were talking about you expanding. You just mentioned you will be opening up at Harrods.
No, that
Okay,
got canned. Like
Okay.
Smoke in a department store.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you could
It was
possibly put the pastries in there, and it'll be a bit safer. But you've expanded clearly, while a lot of restaurants are closing. A lot of Michelin-starred restaurants we've heard recently are shutting their doors. The F&B industry in Singapore is the hardest to survive.
Yeah.
What do you think keeps people coming back, and how do you think you survived after 10 years?
Look, I think for Burn Ends, we've got an absolutely amazing team. And I think that plays a big part. It's having that familiar face, like, our restaurant manager's been with us 10 years. So having that familiar face to greet you and to recognize you and see you is such a huge part of restaurants that people do not attribute enough
attention.
value to, right? So I think that's part one. Part two is like cooking over wood is like magical, right? There's something that when you cook over wood, it does something that's magic. No one knows what it is.
Yeah.
It's just magic, right?
Yeah.
Makes things taste absolutely delicious. And, we've done that and we do it quite uniquely. We're not super traditional to anywhere. We have flavors from all over the world, different products from all over the world. And so we have quite a unique experience. And then we play it all down with, very like low-key, fun, engaging, but professional service.
When you cook over wood, I've heard that different people use different types of wood to enhance flavors. Do you do that? Or-
We do that a little bit. Sort of. We've got these huge ovens, and to try and burn down a certain type of wood is a little bit harder. So we have a base wood, an ironbark that we bring up from Queensland in Australia.
Okay.
And we go through about a ton a week for perspective, right?
What?
So we go through a lot of wood.
Wow.
But then some of the subtle things we do is like we'll smoke caviar over rosemary.
Wow.
Or when we do a whole fish, we'll finish it with a burst of dill. And then so there's like little tips and tricks that you might pick up that's not, just cooking over wood. It's how do you flavor that at the end?
Yeah.
And herbs and spices and stuff are things that just like really pick things up and make the difference.
Nice.
You know, you have the advantage of having a wood oven. I mean, or a couple in Burnt Ends.
We're
How many
building
do you
a third
have?
now.
Oh, you're building a
Wow.
third. Okay.
in production now.
But you're releasing this book, Burnt Ends, and it's a lot about elevating your home grilling experience. A lot of your recipes come from cooking over wood, but we don't have wood ovens at home. You know, we at most have a regular electric oven. How different will the recipes turn out?
So this is the beautiful thing about the book, and we self-published it for this. This was a big reason, right? Is these recipes work for us. So when you cook in with our ovens, you've got our grills, you cook over wood, you can get a similar result. But we don't actually know how to cook our dishes in an electric oven.
Yeah, yeah,
Because we don't.
yeah.
And so my feeling is the result will be super different. Super different. So unless you're going to really sort of make the effort to sort of get a wood-fired grill or even a charcoal grill,
Yeah.
your results will not be even close.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Okay.
But we have
Yeah.
a big disclaimer at the start of the recipe.
Yeah.
That's like if you
you-
don't have our ovens or grills, you don't have the products, you don't work in Singapore, and you're not one of our team or have been,
Yeah.
the results may vary.
May vary, but I mean, you can do it over, say, charcoal, like over a grill.
That's a big thing for us. Because I was just thinking the appeal of Burnt Ends is that we don't really have like a barbecue culture over here.
Not so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
Satay?
Yeah, satay is a barbecue culture.
It is, but it's
And
not
the
over
charcoal
wood. It's
steamboat?
charcoal.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
right.
it's
I was
true,
thinking
yeah.
that,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it really gives a different flavor
It
whenever
does.
you
Smoked
have
flavor.
that. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
So you could do it over a it's like a barbie.
If you barbecue, you're pretty close.
You're close.
You're pretty close, yeah.
Okay.
Compare the process of creating this book to creating the restaurant.
Well, we did both pretty like similar timelines, right?
yeah.
With Burn Ends. Look, I think with the restaurant, it's like we've got a whole bunch of professionals that sort of bring it all together, right?
Yeah.
And the book, yes, we had some professionals, but pulling it all together, we had to really get our team involved on a daily basis. And it was like we have our workload, and then we add the book workload to that already big workload. And so it's just a huge amount of work. But it was, I think the most satisfying thing to us was you refine and articulate exactly what you do, which we've never done before. With Burn Ends, with building a restaurant, you're creating, and it's awesome. But with the book, you're refining and articulating.
Okay, just hang on. We'll go for traffic, and it's the last one on air, is it?
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the BKE heading west towards Woodlands at the Woodlands Road exit, look out for an accident. Also on the AYE towards the MCE, a vehicle's broken down after Alexandra. For any other updates, WhatsApp us 8855 We're with chef owner of Burnt Ends, Dave Pynt, is in the studio, and you have brought us some pretty amazing breakfast. I'm not sure. I think this might go into breakfast for the weekend because it's quite a bit here.
A little bit.
From the Burnt Ends Bakery. Thank you so much for coming in. But we're not here to talk so much about the bakery, although we do want to get people to the bakery and the restaurant and the bar. But we're here to talk about the book, Burnt Ends, the book. How can one get a hold of the book?
If you just go onto our website, burnends.com.sg, you'll be able to get a link straight into our book.
Nice.
Like
Even
pre-order, yeah.
Even the limited edition 6.6 kilogram one.
You've got to email in, and then if we have
give you
them-
our reasons as to why we deserve the book.
So do you have to write like 10 paragraphs on why you deserve
we
it?
want a full bio.
Are you worthy?
Well, the Burnt Ends book will be shipped out on the 1st of November. 368 pages, 379 images, 70 recipes and base recipes, plus 16 techniques on how to get the same dishes done at home. That's pretty amazing.
So here's the thing. 16 techniques on how to get the dishes as close as you can at home. What's one tip you would give someone who's cooking at home to make it better?
Get a thermometer.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, precision. A lot of our stuff is very much based on precision. So knowing the temperature, and we've got a big fold-out spread in the book of how we cook our steak. And if you read it, it's got the inside temperature, the outside temperature, and the timing. And so it really, we focus a lot on like the inside temperature, the outside temperature, and how long it goes on for. And it really, like we've said before today, it's almost scientific. Almost.
A lot of detail.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing.
I have never heard a chef say that.
Get a thermometer. Yeah.
They say all kinds of things, but never a thermometer.
That's amazing.
First time.
I mean, if there are 3 words that you would want anyone to associate with burnt ends, what would they be? What would those 3 words be?
I
And
think
keep it clean.
I think it has to be fire, it has to be tasty, and it has to be fun. That's our experience that we want to give our guests every day of the week.
Amazing. What's next for Burnt Ends? Besides the book, we know you've been working very hard on it, but what's next?
We do have some great projects in the line coming up for the end of the year, but we can't say anything. You're going to have to watch this space.
In Singapore or outside? In Singapore. Okay.
Two awesome projects in Singapore that we're really looking forward to.
If we bring you back in like 10 weeks.
Less.
Less.
We'll bring you back next month.
Both.
You're coming back next week and you're bringing all this with you. Well, once again, we're speaking to chef owner of Burnt Ends, Dave Pynt, in the studio. If you want to head down to Burnt Ends Bakery, we'd highly recommend it because, I mean, look at all these pastries that we have. Once again, what are the opening hours for the bakery?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 till 4.
And a tip to get a table at Burnt Ends, the restaurant?
45 days out, 10 a.m.
45 days before your event day at 10 a.m.
You heard the man.
Very important question for me. You have a bar.
We have a bar.
Operating hours for the bar.
5 o'clock, Tuesday to Saturday, and there's generally a lot of space. You can get a classics menu there. So a sample of all our classic dishes.
Oh, nice.
And it's a little bit easier to walk in. You can just pop in for a drink, couple of snacks, and get something similar to a Burnt Ends restaurant experience.
You close off at what time?
Late.
Late?
So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's midnight. Midnight. And then Friday, Saturday, it's 2 a.m.
All right.
Oh, wow.
So we've
Okay,
got a good
today's
late
Friday.
license. Yeah.
Weekend plans.
Good stuff.
Nice. Thank you so much, Chef, for being in the studio and, of course, bringing all these goodies with you.
Our pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Remember, once again, that you can purchase the Burnt Ends, the book, at burntends.com.sg. The pre-orders are open now, and they ship out on the 1st of November.